Look at how easy that was. Black people did not build America, and they do not deserve reparations. Thank you.
So you all just saw that clip right there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no clue who this person is. So if anyone could find out who this individual is, just put it in the chat or type it in the comment section below. I have no idea who it is, but it came from, it looks like an Instagram account under the title of Angry Patriot Media, where this person right here decided they were going to go to a cotton field, find this cotton plant, pick the cotton off of it, and say what he said in the verbiage of, Black people didn't build America. See how easy this was for me to just come out here fully clothed in only 5 seconds or less than 10 seconds and pick this one piece of cotton off of this plant and say that they didn't build America and how we don't deserve reparations. This was like the ultimate form of disrespect in so many ways. One of them is because our ancestors did not have the luxury to just go out there and pick the cotton whenever they wanted to, and if they, because they had to be out there for hours and it was under the sweltering sun. I'm not exactly sure what time of the year this is. It looks like it might be the summer, it might be the spring, but it looks like it's a nice day. When our ancestors had to do it, they had to pick from sun up to sundown. I'm talking about hours on end, and then not get paid. And this is also where they try to insert the thing of how indentured servitude was the same thing, when we all know that it indeed wasn't. But I want you to put a pin in what I just said, because that's going to segue into another situation that goes on and expands on to what you just saw here. But it's the fact that this dude came outside, drove there, most likely, because I doubt that he walked there, and had someone there recording him picking up a piece of cotton and saying how easy it was. Well, my question to him is, if it was so easy, why didn't his ancestors get off of their ass and go and pick it themselves? Why did they have to get my ancestors to do it for them? This is exactly why they're in the predicament that they're in right now, with the people over there on Twitter calling them lazy. Here it is right here. You've given them more credence. But we could have said that before all of that blew up over there on Twitter with Elon and ramen noodles. So my thing again, why didn't his ancestors pick the cotton themselves if it was so easy? And then he says, of course, about the thing about why do they, that just shows right here that they don't need reparations. But again, this is probably one of those gaslighting things that someone such as himself would get up and do in order to try to engage or get Black people to come at him. What have I always told y'all? The foundation of every grifter's grift is the degradation of Black people, especially in sometimes specifically Black Americans. And it was definitely evident right here, because who's fighting for reparations right now? Foundational Black Americans, because we are the beneficiaries of it. We are the ones that are deserving of it. But I find it interesting because I'm willing to bet that his ancestors received reparations when they lost, quote unquote, labor, which was our ancestors the day we became free. Well, the day rather our ancestors became free, but y'all pretty much get the point. Which that is actually heavily documented that they did receive compensation when they freed the slaves. So I don't know what he's talking about, but you know, I would expect nothing less than the descendant of a clancestor. But to add on insult to injury, you had this pop. This person on Twitter who goes by the name of Big Mel, but they also have the username Gadget. I keep forgetting how it works, but that's besides the point. And he posted up this caption that said, "Fun fact, white people picked cotton," and then he posted up a picture of these two white kids in a cotton field picking cotton. And we're sitting here saying to ourselves, is this the route that you really want to go down? Is this the mountain you want to attempt to climb? Is this the hill you want to die on with what you're talking about here? This dude literally went on Google, most likely. He probably typed in white kids or white people picking cotton. And I'm willing to bet it had nothing to do with antebellum slavery. It most likely was due to what we like to call indentured servitude. And the reason why I believe that is actually to be true is because when people started to reply to him, he went and actually screenshotted a definition, a whole definition of what indentured servitude was. as reflected right here. So somebody had replied to him, and then he replied back to them, and he posted, of course, a screenshot of indentured servitude. And it said, is a form of labor in which a person is contracted to work without salary for a specific number of years. The contract, called an indenture, may be entered voluntarily for prepaid lump sum as payment for some good service or travel, purported eventual compensation, or debt repayment. An indenture may also be imposed involuntarily as a judicial punishment. The practice has been compared to the similar institution of slavery, although there are differences. And they just gave a couple of them. One of them is a salary. They're allowed to get paid. Two, they can enter into it voluntarily. Our ancestors were not allowed to have a choice of whether or not to be slaves or not. And I'm willing to bet, given the opportunity to have a choice, many of them would have said no, whether you paid them or not. But they weren't paid at all. They had to do all of that for free. That was nothing but free labor. And it says compensation, debt repayment. Our ancestors weren't afforded that. That wasn't part of the deal. And indentured servitude didn't last nearly as long as slavery. Slavery lasted 400 plus years. Indentured servitude probably lasted maybe a decade, or like they said, for as long as the debt had to be paid. And once it was done, once they paid their debt, if that was the case, it was over with. It was like basically having a regular job before a 9-to-5 was known as a thing. Slavery, on the other hand, and it's crazy that we have to sit there and say this to a person who happens to be black. Yes, this is not even a troll. Well, he's trolling, but this is a real person. This is an actual person who put that there just to try to get some engagement, because they're not really getting nothing much on their page. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. But they put it right there, and to try to compare it to slavery is very disingenuous. But he put up that post about indentured servitude, and I'm going to show you a couple more posts where he literally contradicted himself. And it was so easy because he probably didn't even catch it, but he decides, I'm just going to go back and forth for people because this is the most engagement I probably ever had on my whack page. So as you can see right here, he was going back and forth with the person that started to come at him. And someone said, LM will laughing my black ass off. In the definition you posted, it mentions prepaid lump sum, which it did. We just read it. And then he comes back and says, you missed the word may, but that's besides the point. They still got paid, as the person replied back to him saying they got paid. Not even if it said they may have gotten paid, that they still were able to get some kind of compensation. Slaves were not given the may get paid option, or they were going to for sure get paid option. They weren't getting paid at all. They were getting brutally tortured in multiple different ways. Then he comes back and says, that's a different debate. Fact is, they picked cotton. So they're still hanging on the whole, they picked cotton thing, but you're the one that brought up indentured servitude, and you brought up a picture of 2 indentured children to try to combat against what the narrative already was put out there from the video itself. And the last thing I pulled up is this, because it's some more, but I figure let's just go ahead and end the interactions right here. Someone said, last I checked, they entered into servitude of their own free will, and their kids were not born into slavery. Again, going back to the definition that this man posted, but he's going against what he posted, what he found. And then he comes back and says, that's a fact. However, white people still did it. So this guy is just like habitually just throwing the cape on for PC no matter what. And he's basically in agreement with everything that the person said in the video, that it was so easy, black people don't deserve reparations, and that black people didn't build the country. That's basically what he's in agreement with. And then I clicked on his Twitter page, and it played out just exactly how I thought it would. So as you can see right here, I screenshotted his page, like the bio and everything. It's a picture, it's a fake $2 bill. It has Trump on there. It has his profile picture. Of course, he bought the blue check because they wasn't about to give him one for free with 5,097 subscribers. It says true contrarian, U.S. Air Force engineer by day, Tesla and Twitter, OG Dark MAGA. I've never heard Dark MAGA before. I've heard Black MAGA, but he said Dark MAGA. Maha, make America healthy again. Then he puts the American flag and he says crypto, fitness, guns, freedom. So there it is. Now, mind you, it says that he joined in November of 2008. And this is the most that he has right now on his Twitter account. So something tells me he definitely was, he's doing some grifting. But then when I looked at his page and started to scroll down, he doesn't get that much engagement. That's why I said the post in which he responded to with the pictures of the two indentured children, that was the most engagement I think he's ever gotten. Because when I looked on his page and started to scroll down some, and the stuff that he was posting, he wouldn't get no replies. He wasn't getting no reposts, no likes, or if he was maybe getting like 2 likes at a time. I don't even think I saw one where he got 10, and I scrolled down for like a good minute. But that one that I just went over when he was going back and forth with people with that trash take, that was the most engagement he ever got that I've seen so far on his page. So yeah, he's definitely grifting. Well, his grift is clearly not working. But so like it's like he's doing all of this for nothing. It's very sad at the end of the day, especially when you put up the definition of indentured servitude and you got pretty much checked on your own narrative where you were trying to spin something and it still didn't work in your favor, but you knew you were wrong. And when people checked you and corrected you, you still wanted to be wrong because you wanted to, I don't know, get the last word or try to convince yourself and others that you were correct in that they were wrong. It's a weird paradigm, but y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Peep this comment that he left right here in reply to this person named Black in Big 4. This Black in Big 4 person said it took them a month to pick a couple rows of cotton because they're slow and lazy. This is talking about black people now. To which this big male person replied with a laughing emoji and said, the whip can motivate people. Like I told y'all, this is a real person. Well, he's trolling, but he's definitely a real person because I've seen that he's posted videos of himself on his page. Like this isn't like that Palmer character that I talked about at the end of December. This is an actual real black person saying this stuff. And that's all he does. Actually, before I had to add this last piece in here, I went to his page and he's still on there talking shit about black people. And it's crazy. He's just trying to get, again, he's trying to do this